What's good, family? Welcome back to Turning Hustle into Legacy, the space where we talk about growth, healing, grinding, and becoming the version of yourself your future kids will brag about, right? So today's episode is personal. It's heavy, but it's honest. And we're talking about healing in public versus suffering in private. That moment when your profile picture looks happy, your posts look motivational, your energy looks strong, but behind the scenes, you breaking down, tired, you stretched out, you're hurting, you stressed out, okay? You stretched and stressed out. So this episode is for the folks who master smiling for the camera while kind of falling apart offline. Let's get into it. So the highlight reel trap is what I call it, right? We live in a world where everybody is performing, everybody is branding, everybody is curating. And somewhere in that process, I think suffering becomes something you tend to hide, and healing becomes something you post. I really take my hat off and, acknowledge the young ladies and gentlemen that go on live or go on their main platform and create a reel that they are showing their vulnerability. I really respect that because a lot of people are not living in their truth. So for those of you that are, hats off to you. So if somebody's listening and it's hurting a little slightly, it's because you kind of feel like your audience expects inspiration from you. Like your family expects strength from you, or your friends may, expect consistency. Hell, your job expect professionalism, right? But nobody's asking what you need. Like I deal with that a lot of the times where, someone asks me, well, what does support look like to you? And to me, it's just simple. A simple congratulations is all a motherfucker needs sometimes. Or I'm happy for you, or I'm proud of you, right? But sometimes I think we just get stuck in the highlight reel trap is what I call it. It's a highlight reel and it's a trap. But we're feeling pressure to only show the good, the strong, the pretty, and the polished. But let's just be honest. A lot of people look healed online because they don't have the privilege to fall apart offline. Some of us just learn to heal while still clocking, still parenting, still hustling, still showing up for everybody else. So to me, the private pain we don't talk about, it hit different. It's the pain you don't post about. It's the pain you push down because you don't want to look weak. The pain you keep to yourself because nobody else just ever showed up for you any other way. It's the good. It's the good, but it's also the bad. So to me, it could look like the laughing out loud to soften the truth, or the I'm good text, but the private suffering looks like waking up drained, but still showing up. You smiling for a picture, while you wiping a tear at the same time when nobody looking. You being the friend that everyone calls, but when it's time for you to go through shit, nobody answers the phone, right? You just the strong one because nobody else ever stepped up. And let me tell you something important. The strong friends hurt too, okay? Strong doesn't mean untouched, or strong don't mean you survive hits other people never saw. It just means you surviving without support. And that shit can become self-destruction at one point. So let's talk about the presence to heal quickly, especially online. I call that the social media pressure to heal fast. Okay? The intent we all have, you thinking healing is, which is, or this is what the internet I feel like put out. We can do some sage or some crystals or some quotes, even a cute outfit. Okay? But real healing is ugly as fuck. It's slow, it's messy, it's inconsistent, and that shit hurt. Healing is not an easy process. Okay? And it doesn't move at the speed of social media. It moves at the speed of your nervous system. Online people expect you to bounce back, to stay positive, to keep it pushing. But sometimes pushing isn't the reason you're breaking. Like, sometimes the bounce back is delayed because your body's still tired from the fucking fall. So here's the thing. You don't have to rush your healing because people are watching. And you don't have to post your healing to prove that you're growing. You just don't have to. So When your brand requires you to be strong, let's talk about that. When your brand requires you to be strong, I was kind of going through that with my business where, a couple things kind of fell off. My staff might have dropped the ball a few times, and I'm like, oh my God, my brand, my name. But shit, don't nobody know the pain that we deal with on the back end, all the struggles the kids go through, the disrespect, and all the things that we have to go through on the back end. Nobody knows. But at the end of the day, when my brand is put forth, it's like peachy cream. But behind the scenes, that shit could be falling apart. So your brand kind of requires you to be strong and uphold this image, right? I can attest to that. So a lot of us could be listening today. They're leaders, creators, business owners. And like your brand, it requires strength. Your audience might, expect consistency, my clients expect clarity, but sometimes we can't give them all that. So you end up performing well instead of pursuing wellness, if that makes sense. So it kind of becomes, I can't take a break. My brand needs me. I can't disappear. People will lose me, but let me tell you, momentum without mental health is meaningless. You have to do self-care. And I just was thinking too, it's Sunday. I was thinking self-care Sundays. I just finished my little routine, my regimen of, my face care, my foot care, things that we utilize a lot, which is our face card. Let's talk about it. So take care of it because that could be a part of your brand, your feet, making sure you only get one set, your hands, you get one set of those. So take care of them, right? But anyway, I just think that, when you have a brand and you're trying to heal in public, the healthy way it is to be honest about needing rest. You got to set boundaries, and you got to tell your people, look, I'm taking care of me today. You got to choose authenticity over perfection. So people think healing in public means telling all your business online. No, it don't. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. It's saying like, hey, y'all, I'm human too. I'm moving through life. Life be lifing, but I ain't quitting. Right? That's to me what moving and healing in public mean. It doesn't mean that you're telling all your business. And you could stop suffering in silence. If you're suffering privately, let me give you some tools. Listen, admit you're not okay. That's the number one. If you can heal without hiding, I think that that's just super beneficial to your mental health. Like, you got to heal without hiding. Who cares what people think, right? Live in your truth. Let at least one person in. One person. It don't require a crowd. It just kind of require a connection. It requires a connection. So, take your cape off. Stop being everybody's hero. There's no more Captain Save-A-Hoes. They died a long time ago. Especially to a point where you're neglecting yourself. That's just not okay. Growing up, I was always told with my little ADHD having ass, slow down. I promise you, slow down was something I will never forget that my mother and my grandmother always told me, And I say that to say, you don't heal by grinding harder. You just don't. You can heal by grounding deeper. You ground deeper. You know what I mean? You got to separate your worth from your work. You have to, because you're valuable. Even when you offline. Even when you offline, you're valuable. So, try to create a routine of recovery. Structure your rest. Schedule your stillness to where you just need to slow down, take a deep breath, and, just listen. You deserve help, support, safety, softness, a soft place, a safe place. Like, you deserve that. So listen, it's okay to be strong. It's okay to be resilient, but it's just not okay to hurt alone. It's just not. And healing is not a performance. It's a process. So I get it. And you deserve a life where you don't have to smile through suffering. You just don't have to. That's the hardest thing to do in life, And I think in this episode, like, if this shit home with you, share it with somebody. Especially somebody who's always fine, who's always strong, who's always good. It ain't always good, and it's okay. So let's work through it together. So just remember, legacy isn't built by perfect people. It's built by healed people, right? So thank you for rocking with me today on Turning Hustle into Legacy. You take care of yourself, take your power back, and I'll see y'all next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.